It is a super rainy day, and so our plans have changed dramatically. On the plus side, we are grateful to have water to fill our water tanks. So our plans today have changed, and we are going to do an indoor family activity which is going to consist of a lot of organising and is going to embed us deeper into our zero waste goals. So what I have done is collected and acquired and bought brand spanking new, some and some just repurposed glass jars for all of our packet goods. Now, most of our packet goods were acquired from Source Bulk Foods, and they do have compostable and biodegradable packaging, but we would like to get them all into jars so that they are easy to find, because right now they are cluttering the cupboard space, and the cupboard is deep and unlit, so it is very difficult to discern what is what just from the packaging, because the packaging is identical. So this is what I'm talking about. All the packets look exactly the same, and you have to sort of pull one out and then read it. It's not the best way of doing it, but this is biodegradable cello, and this is compostable packaging, and that's one of the reasons why we went and placed an order at Source. But we've got a lot of that in our cupboard at the moment. Down below there as well, one of the flowers exploded, and then up here much the same thing. So we do have some soft plastics here that were left over from my uncle's cabinet when he passed, and they've just got to be used, and tinned goods and things like that. But we want to make sure that everything comes out of its package and we store it. So we have some jars set aside. Mostly they're our milk bottle jars, and then leftover garlic jars and things like that. There's a baby food jar there from when my sister was visiting, but we're pretty low on our jars. I went out and purposefully bought these preserving jars, these ones here, and I've got them in different sizes. I didn't necessarily want to buy brand spanking new jars just for the look and feel of it, but I did put some thought into this, and now that we have our farm and we have a lot of fruit trees in our farm, the way that I figure is I needed some really good preserving jars, and unfortunately I looked around all the secondhand stores, the dump shop, and I just couldn't find anything. So I figure I'll just go out and I'll acquire these, and I hear that Ball are the best, and they will last a lifetime. So I figure it's a good investment for, you know, longevity. And that was kind of like the thought that I put into it. We did try to keep some of our jars, but obviously it's a bit of hard going when you're starting just from scratch. If we had have still been at home in Cairns, I would have had so many different jars to choose from. But unfortunately, we let go of all of our, you know, recyclable jars and things of that nature, and I had to start fresh. And because we have this situation with all the packaging, we have a very small space within our kitchen to store things. It's really important that things work really functional, otherwise it takes nothing and it's all disorganized. So we're going to go through it, and Savannah is going to help me.
Hi.
So this is my big girl Savs, and she is going to help me to organize everything. Now Savannah is a very organized little lady, aren't you, Savs? And she puts a lot of attention and a lot of effort into making things look pretty and organized and beautiful. She's my very special girl. And Savvy, is there any news that you want to say?
Well, I'm really excited to organize all this stuff and get it nice and neat and tidy.
Yes, and it's also somebody's birthday coming up.
Mine!
So I got these 8-ounce jelly jars for some of our smaller spices, for my homemade toothpaste and sometimes even my deodorant. They're occupying their own recycled jars at the moment. And I also got this one in here, which is... It's 945 mil. Hang on, that's not even. Yeah, there we go. So there you have it. Preserving jars, lids, made in the USA. Over 130 years for fresh preserving food at home. So I've got 2 different sizes to choose from here, plus whatever else I've got lying around. We also went and collected some more generic jars, larger jars and imitation sort of like ball preserving jars. And, you know, we're just going to use what we have here, and hopefully everything will fit nicely so that we can just get really super duper organized. So I'm going to show you the kitchen right now. It's in a state of disarray. We are only able to wash up once a day at this moment in time because one of our water tanks is completely empty. So preserving water is incredibly important. So we're stoked for the rain, but it's taking a long time to fill that water tank up, and we are going through water faster than we are actually receiving water. So we're looking at adjusting, you know, that situation, getting extra water tanks and things like that. But these are slow going. We have to do our research. Where are we going to put them? You know, getting them all ready and what have you. So we are only able to wash up once. The place looks like so gross right now. Oh, it's doing my head in, and I can't even. Also, we've only just woken up, so this is my bed head. Savannah just looks beautiful all the time. She's my little beautiful one, and she looks beautiful all the time.
Why haven't we used these beans anymore?
That's not beans, honey. This is vanilla bean paste. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's make magic happen. Yay! Okay. So here's a bit of a look at the before shot. It's the backyard and our water tank. There's our dirty dishes section. And it's pretty filthy at the moment. State of chaos up here. It's actually been quite a challenge finding spaces for things, and we're slowly learning what we need to release and what we need to keep and what we actually need to make a space for. So it's been a bit slow going, and we have very little room in this little tiny home to store our goods, and so whatever stays in here needs to be incredibly useful. And I find that because it's such a small space, if anything that's non-essential comes in and it's sort of like just left lying around, it creates clutter so fast, and the place just looks untidy really quickly. So it's a we have been going for hours now, and we've hit a wall. Savannah's down. Where are you, Savs? Well. I can't find you. Oh, there. Savsy's down. There's Snowy. I'll introduce you to Snowy another time. But we've been here for a hot minute now. There's flour all over the floor. I'm going to show you the mess. Is the in-between state of tidying up. Look at this bench. Look at this bench. Oh my God. We've just had a little sit down. Savs isn't too keen, but I'm like, slave driver, we've got to get this done. I genuinely dislike it when things are this disorganized. It makes me feel icky on the inside. So it's got to happen. We've got to get this done. And so hopefully the next video is me telling you it's done, and me finally out of my pajamas, which will be my greatest accomplishment for the day. It is currently midday. It's midday. I have been in my pajamas since lunchtime. Oh, till lunchtime. Oh dear. Okay, so we have finally finished, and yes, I just changed out of my PJs. It is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'm going to show you around what we have done. Savannah's going to be my little pointy helper, and she's going to open up the doors and show you exactly what we've done to make this space a little bit more, well, organised, zero waste, and tidy, says Savannah. So we'll show you now.
This is what we did.
And there we have it. We'll start with the exterior. So we have put lots and lots of herbs and spices that we like to use up on top there. We have cleaned off this entire bench. There's just a jug of drinking water because on rainy days like today you don't really want to be walking outside in the rain to go and get your water. And this is our sort of handy, easy to reach sort of pots and pans that we use a lot of, and that is still being washed and soaked and all of that, so that's a work in progress, but I've had to give it a bit of a rest because my hands are not doing well. So let's have a look. Sabs, cupboards.
Okay. We've organised everything and put things in jars and put things in our rightful places. Like these have been in plastic bags, like these ones, and we've put them all into jars.
Very well done. Savannah was a great help. Do you want to open the top one up too, sweetie? There we go. And we've put a lot of our condiments. That's our butter there under a beeswax wrap, and then easy to reach things. There were also items that we had in paper packaging that we weren't going to be buying a lot of, so we didn't decide to put them in a jar. We just thought we'll leave them as they are. Hey, Sabs.
Yeah. This is what they look like all together. Nice and tidy.
Nice and tidy. Look at that. Everything in its rightful spot. Do you want to go under the cupboards under the sink, sweetheart?
Okay. These are all the French and sinks, except I don't think we tidied up in here.
That's just our plastics one, darling.
We've tidied up all of these that you can mostly see. So let's have a look in this one first. So we've organised stuff, moved stuff from every place around the house. We put the utensils, forks and things in right places. Like forks have their own place. They have their own places, and we've got a little chart over here. We've got some paper towels, and these are special ones. I forgot, what is it?
They're unpaper towels.
They're unpaper towels. These are
Washables.
washables.
They're cloth towels to replace paper towels. They are cloth nail polish removing pads and cloth makeup removing pads, and then there are family cloth there as well, which we were going to try out but we haven't yet. And all of that paper towel we ended up having to acquire because we got a puppy, and we just had to have it to clean up the puppy's mess because we don't have a laundry here. We don't have washing and drying services, so we mop it up with the paper towel and we burn it then, and it's the best we can do at the moment until he's potty trained, and then we'll go back to just our cloth towels.
These are the most important. These are the ones that I really love because they're really soppy and you can just rub it on your face. It's really good.
Yeah.
This is two cupboards, so I'll open them too.
Sure, why not?
So we've organised them. You still see there's like things at the back.
Heaps of jars there.
Bowls and plates and all different kinds of stuff that you use for cooking.
Yep, we're pretty minimalist. We only have enough for ourselves and one guest, which is my dad usually. And most of these pots and pans were here when we moved. We acquired a baking dish. We brought a little bit of stuff down with us, but of course most of this was gifted to us while we've been here. We actually haven't bought too much of anything, so that's good.
That's good that we haven't bought anything. Cool.
We inherited my uncle's rice cooker. Well, I actually just cook rice in a pot. I don't see the need for a cooker, but that's okay.
And lucky last, not really fun. We put all our goodies here, things that we never used.
Yeah, tissues, medication, spare lighters for the fire, some scrubbies that were left over from my uncle, a bit of vinegar, a ceramic water filter, which is a refill, a peat brick for our composting toilet, a scrubby brush, which is again from my uncle, and that's pretty much keeping it simple. Some labels there that were left over from my office. They're aging. We've had them for so long, but I won't throw them out because that would be wasteful.
I want to say something to the camera.
Okay.
Well, my mum has shown me something really, really awesome to me, but I can't reach.
What is it, honey? Oh, I see. Hang on, I'll see if I can do this with one hand. Oh, that can be your reveal.
This is the most exciting thing that I have in the cupboard. Not any of the lollies, not any of the treats, just this. Well, it's mostly a treat. But it's not in plastic. We would buy it not in plastic, and we could maybe use the paper for something.
Compostable.
Compostable.
That's right. And it's, what is it, Sabs?
It's a cake mix.
Yay!
Chocolate cake mix.
Yay! Savannah's quite a good little baker, and she used to make lots of little cakes back in cans, and so I haven't been able to find a zero waste version of the made cake mixes because they all come with plastic and all that kind of business. But then I was at our local organic store and we found this, and she's so excited.
I can't wait to make a cake with this.
Exactly right, hey. Yay!
So it was hard work, wasn't it, Savs?
Yes, it took for ages. I couldn't stop.
We started at, what time was it? I think it was 8:30 in the morning, and then we went until 1 o'clock. So it wasn't an easy task, but now that it's done, everything just feels better.
It would be harder with the children.
Matt left with the two little ones, and they had some errands to run, and so that left me and Savvy here. And Sav's got a knack for organising and beautifying things, so I'm very lucky to have her help. And we've had a little snack now for lunch, and we're going to sit down and maybe watch a movie together, something really fun, hey?
Yeah.
We might also cleanse the space with some smoke, maybe some Palo Santo. I did throw some garden herbs that were drying on the fire, and that smoked it up a little bit, but I think I might light some incense. Now that we have a puppy, there's a dog smell in the house that I'm not accustomed to. We'll talk about that another time. Hey, Sabs!
Yeah.
All right, then. Wishing you guys so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching as we edge just that little bit closer to a zero waste lifestyle. Everything is a process, folks. It's a really big process. We are off grid, so that actually does limit us in a way because we don't have a washing machine. We could use a lot more cloth bits and bobs if we did have a washing machine and be more reliant on that, but it's a struggle. And we don't have rubbish collection as well, so that means that we have to minimize our waste, and anything that does come through that is wasteful, like a soft plastic for instance, that we can't recycle very easily, then that gets dropped off at a local bin, but we don't have too much of that rubbish at the moment. We recycle all of our tins, our cardboard, and our paper, tin, cardboard, glass as well. And we take that down to the local recycling centre. Some of the glass bottles can actually be handed in and refunded. You get a little 4-cent refund on some of these glasses. And then anything else gets dropped off at Billy Hill Organics. I haven't actually done that yet, but I'm accumulating certain. Are you right? I'm accumulating a certain amount of glasses to drop down there because I have gone down there a couple of times and been just caught out without a bottle or a glass or a container, and they always have one there that you can use because people are kind enough to drop them off for people like me who oftentimes forget their vessels. So I figure I'm just gonna take a whole bunch in one day, and that will be my compensation, or my contribution, not compensation, my contribution. Sabs is on her own journey here right now, and she's the little actress. All right, guys, wishing you so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Thanks for hanging out with us. See ya. Mwah.